Business process improvement is one of the important elements for the present growing businesses. Research has suggested that every professional, student, educator, the practitioner must be aware of this. According to KISSFlow, over 33% of business process improvement initiatives fail, with 5% seeing little to no success, 28% seeing departmental success only, and 19% experiencing significant difficulties but some eventual success. Thus, knowing business process improvement terminologies are very essential. Thus, in this tutorial, I will explain to you all the tales regarding business process improvement. Hello everyone. This is George from Invensis Learning. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we shall talk about business process improvement. Now, let us look into the agenda. Let us start the discussion by knowing what is business process improvement. Then, we shall see why we have to improve the business processes. Soon after that, we shall see why do business process improvement fail. After understanding this, let us focus on the steps to be taken to improve the business processes. Moving on, we shall focus on the common business process improvement solutions. And, then, continue to learn the key skills required for any business process improvement manager. Post that, we shall discuss some of the business process improvement methodologies, and continue to learn some of the BPI tools. Later, we shall focus on the best practices for business processes. Further, we shall see a case study on business process improvement. And end the session by knowing some of the business process improvement jobs. So, what is business process improvement? Business process improvement is a method that identifies, analyzes, and improves the present existing business processes that lead to optimizing the performance, enhancing company standards, improving system quality, etc. The mentioned definition best defines the term business process improvement. But, to make you understand even better, consider a small business, say, home bakers. So, what does home bakers do? They just bake the essentials and sell them to the clients. But, these bakers couldn't earn enough profits. Then, one of the home bakers thought about this, and created some ideas like, she started to promote her products through social media. She started adding additional flavors. She gave combo offers. Tried new ways of attracting people. Soon after implementing these new ideas, they saw an increase in revenue. So, these methods or practices that are used for improving the businesses are termed as business process improvement. To explain in simple terms, business improvement will help in reducing the cost, improve the income, improving the quality, reducing the processing time, improving accuracy and efficiency. Knowing about business processes improvement, let us now see the main reasons for improving the business. So, why improve the business process? When a company wants to stand out from others, it should implement business process improvement and automation as it directly helps in the growth of the business. Now, let us look into the 5 benefits of business process improvement. Productivity. By continuously taking steps to improve the business processes, it can lead to removing the business's inefficiencies and ultimately improve productivity. Reduced cost. When processes are advanced, they take less time to execute. It also reduces the processing time. Due to this, the business process gets efficient and will reduce running the process itself. Quality. Because of the implementation of new technologies and other criteria during the business process, the advancement of tools and technology occurs. Due to this, more quality of the product can be obtained. Attracts customers. Businesses can reach out to customers with less time and more quality. It attracts customers. Now, they become loyal customers who often try to purchase from our company. Reduced risk. One of the key elements of a successful business is automation. As many businesses use automation, often, errors and other problems are reduced. And, directly, increases the efficiency of the business. This means that the risk of fraud is reduced to some extent. Knowing why businesses process improvements benefits. Let us now dive to know. Why does business process improvement fail? Why do 30% of business process improvement initiatives fail? Every organization follows various steps to implement process improvement. They start with taking a detailed look at the company's process, and identifying which business processes need improvement. Then they get involved in figuring out how to reduce friction with existing processes and learning how to do things better. In spite of taking a huge set of time and resources for all these processes, sometimes measurable achievements won't be seen. For example, project teams meet less often or disband altogether. Within months, even the plans that were completed become too difficult to sustain. And, unfortunately, work process improvement ideas fail more often than people would like to admit. So, because of all these, process improvement is failing. Now let us look into those specific reasons due to which business process improvement is failing. Lack of responsibility. Over time, the team head would take the responsibility for implementing the planned action. This team head would assist the other employees with some particular tasks. In the initial phase, everything may go well. But, as time progresses, the employees start working inefficiently. If the team head does not overlook this, the company's performance and efficiency gradually decrease. So, before committing to an improvement plan, first ensure your team is committed to improvement. Then, provide them with the context to see how each individual process relates to one another. Complicated. Most of the time, many businesses include some complicated elements in the organization. We often mistake by overly elaborating the solutions for an improvement plan in the rush to make drastic changes or correct a failing system. Without a solid understanding of how to proceed, doubt and suspicion often take over. People are less inclined to act. And nothing gets accomplished. Inability to modify the plan. In some companies, few of the process owners adhere to the plan's roadmap. They will not re-evaluate if the objectives continue to align clearly with corporate goals. As leaders, we should constantly scrutinize our performance metrics and adapt accordingly. So, at every stage of your initiative, ensure to have routine project reviews. By doing all these, you will become better equipped to recognize inefficiencies in the organization's plan. Remember to operate with a certain degree of humility. Admit to mistakes or miscalculations, and strive to overcome unforeseen challenges to ensure success for the plan and your team. After knowing why business process improvement fails, let us now see some of the steps required to implement the business process improvement. One can find many ways to implement BPI. They look different, but all of them do the same. That is, taking an existing business and improving it. Now, I shall explain the steps that must be taken to implement business process improvement, which is in accordance with my perspective. So, these are the steps taken to implement the BPI. Now, let me explain each one in detail. Identify the problems. This is the initial step where the issue is identified. Like, a business is composed of many departments, processes, and many more. If one cannot reach their estimated destination, it means they lack some kind of quality. So, in this particular step, professionals will identify those areas. Once this is found, the further process becomes much easier. Map your current business. Once you identify the problematic area, you must make sure that it is correct. To do this, mapping is done. So, what is mapping? Mapping is a method of understanding how your business works and finding anything that might seem weak or inefficient. In simpler words, you are creating a flow chart of the whole process that can occur in the business you are involved in. So, why map? As already told, map is done to analyze the business, which gives a clear picture of whether the chosen problem area and the first step is right or not. Analyze. The third step in the process of business process improvement is to analyze. Once you map all the processes, you need to analyze the map content. While analyzing, it is important to note that each stage has to be analyzed, without missing any of them. One can analyze by thinking many questions like: which are the stages that got delayed? Why did that particular stage take a lot of time to proceed? Did any step miss out during the process? Did any step use a lot more time and cost than required? And many more. By analyzing all the questions, you can come to the conclusion about which particular area is affected, and to what extent. So, what after analysis? Redesign the process. Once the analysis stage is completed, you have to redesign the old process method. So, what does it mean? The redesign is a method of creating a new model for the business process, from the present models, so that effective changes can happen in the company in a good way. This becomes the main step in the BPI process. If proper designing is not done, then there is no use in carrying out the other steps. So, how to redesign a business process? You can start with picking up the right task. Sit with that particular department, and figure out certain solutions. Think if that solution can be implemented for time being, or in a long run. Check for the functionality, perform some risk analysis management, etc. Implementation. Soon after redesigning the processes, one has to implement the same. This step is a very crucial part of the system. This is because, if something goes wrong, you might end up losing more than whatever the inefficient process was costing you. For implementation, you first need to focus on the resources and time that are available to you. Only then, implementation is possible. For implementing, start from small bits. Check if it's acceptable and adaptable for the business. If yes, continue for every bit. If not, Try changing the method of implementation itself. Review the implementation. The process doesn't end after implementation. You are also required to recheck the implemented things. To do this, monitor every step of the implementation method. Check if everything is going as the way decided. If not, make the necessary changes by returning back to the previous step. Now that you know the steps required to implement the business process improvement, we shall look into some of the common solutions it has. Common business process improvement solutions. Business process improvement is a magic pill for many business companies today. It identifies inefficiencies in operations and nurses them back to health. There are several methods for implementing this. Along with this, it has several solutions that make the businesses improve in an effective way. Let us now encounter these solutions. More automation. Business process improvement is one of the forward-thinking enterprises. These businesses use business process improvement solutions that create an easy data collection form that automatically feeds the information into a centralized database without requiring manual entry. In the above case, the business process improvement solution acts as a medium for different teams across the company. Thus, automation makes the work easy, in less time, and with more efficiency. Reduced errors. When one starts converting manual work to automation, the tasks become easier. Also, the rate of error naturally decreases as well. As mentioned in the above example, data collection done manually may include some errors. But the ones did through automation never include an error. This is just an example of how a business process improvement solution can reduce human errors using automation. Along with this, it also helps to increase process speed as well. Knowing common solutions for business process improvement, we shall look into the main skills required for process improvement. Key skills required for business process improvement. To tackle the aspects of business processes, you'll need a wide array of skills in different areas. Having these skills will help you a lot while implementing the processes. Now, let us look into those skills. Soft skills. The business processes improved professionals must have a good blend of communication skills, along with technical competence. While most technical candidates have functional skill sets, technical skills combined with rich communication skills will give a business process individuals a competitive edge. Creative and analytical thinking. Critical thinking and analytical solving give the nature of the industry. One is constantly on the lookout for empowered employees that can provide critical thinking and a resolution to various client queries. A value-driven approach and an attitude of empathy show importance for business process professionals. Collaboration. Effective process improvement actually means finding innovative approaches to the existing issues. Collaborating to come up with these improvements is one such key skill required for any business professional because it gives a broader base of knowledge to draw from, as well as a range of perspectives that can let one see the problem in a different way. Collaboration also helps in identifying the problems in an organization. There may be issues at lower levels of the hierarchy, and those at the executive level are completely unaware of. By coming together and sharing ideas, one can create the best team that focuses on needs and goals, as well as find process improvements that benefit the entire company. Adaptability. Even with extensive planning and preparation, you may not be able to reach the extent you had expected. Lack of adaptability is one of the main reasons businesses fail. In many cases, it's a failure to respond to external factors, like the shift in the market. Overly rigid process planning can be a problem too, though, especially if it makes you unresponsive to employee issues. Some people are naturally more flexible than others. It is a skill that can be developed. The more adaptable you are as a business owner, the better you'll be able to lead your company toward continuous growth. Now you know some of the key skills required for business process improvement. We shall see various business process improvement methodologies. Business process improvement methodologies. Business process improvement is one of the top priorities for present organizations. The market wants to know what the basic steps of BPI usually offer. The scope of what BPI is and what it can do for your organization is changing. There is still a lot of hype, so everyone needs to know who is doing what, and how well it works. Every organization needs a BPI strategy and a comprehensive deployment plan. Now, let us see the common methodologies used in a BPI. Six Sigma. Six Sigma is one of the smart business process management methodologies. This method was first introduced in Motorola to reduce defects and cycle time. It mainly involves detecting, in removing errors and defects from any business processes by concentrating on outputs. This directly affects customer satisfaction. Sigma tools include two approaches, namely DMAIC and DMADV approaches. Now let us understand both of these approaches in detail. Coming to DMAIC, DMAIC means define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. It is a data-driven quality strategy used to improve processes. Every letter in this represents the phases of the process. This method uses cause and effect analysis to display the causes of defects visually. So, how is it performed? Let us take an example of mobile fracturing, and understand each of these phases in detail. Consider a mobile manufacturing company that used to produce 1,000 mobiles per day. As the day proceeded, the number of customers reduced and manufacturing increased. This means the demand is less and supply is more. Now, they require a method or an approach to reach a considerable number of customers. So, they make use of the DMAIC approach. How do they begin? First, they start with defining the issues. They initially note down all the problems that are causing less user experience and user interference. They start noting all those problems and define them. Next, they should measure, that is the process performance. They make use of many analytical methods to check their performances against time and cost. They also can make use of Pareto charts to analyze the frequency of problems or causes. In our example, they measure the performance of the mobile. In the next phase, they have to analyze. So, what does analysis mean? The analysis is the process of determining the causes of variation and reasons for poor performance. That means analyzing the defects. So, in our case, they must analyze the defects present in the mobile. Later, they have to improve, so how to do that? One must improve the performance by addressing and eliminating the root causes found in the previous phase. In our example, they can improve by adding new features to the mobile or implementing new technologies that attract customers. So, soon after improving, they must control defines the improved process and future process performance. Controlling is done to improve the process of the new course. In our case, control is done by implementing those new methods. So, after implementing all these phases, manufacturing also increased, and demand also increased effectively. The next Six Sigma approach is DMADV. If you have existing processes and do not meet the required quality standards even after improvement, you should conduct a DMADV. It refers to define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. This approach is different from that of DMAIC. The application of DMADV is used to improve, adjust, or create an entirely new product or service. This approach mainly aims to produce a high-quality product keeping in mind customer requirements at every stage of the game. The next BPI methodology is Lean. Toyota developed Lean for shortening the order-to-cash cycle. Lean thinking is one of the business improvement methodologies that often aims to reduce waste from processes. The main aim of Lean is to maximize customer value while minimizing waste for an organization's products and services. So, what are the issues the Lean can help with? Some of the issues that Lean methodology seeks to address may include transport inefficiencies, wastages in the process, defects occurred in the product, errors occurred during the production process, unbalanced manufacturing, etc. In its most basic form, Lean manufacturing seeks to maximize all processes that can add value and get rid of every step that doesn't. Now, let us look into the typical steps for Lean process improvement would include: define the value for the customer. Map the process. Identifying the steps that have not created any value. Remove the unnecessary steps that don't add value. Repeat the process until the business is improved. Next, we have Kanban. Kanban is a tool for process workflow visualization that makes business units, leadership, and employees on the same page for process improvement. This methodology incorporates and encourages Lean process improvement. At the beginning of the 21st century, software industries quickly realized the use of Kanban to change how products and services were delivered positively. One can build the Kanban system just by creating a Kanban board. This board is made up of 3 basic columns: to do, in progress, and done. This table serves as a real-time information repository that highlights the bottlenecks within the system and anything else that might interrupt smooth working practices. Further, we have Total Quality Management. Total Quality Management, TQM, is a methodology that originated in the 1950s but only became popular in the early 1980s. As we saw the Lean methodology, its main priority is delivering value to the end customer. In a similar fashion, TQM focuses on the organization as a whole, rather than individual processes. The main focus here is that every department within the company should be optimized with customer values in its mind. Total Quality Management is a business improvement methodology that is best suited for a constantly changing environment. TQM is a system of practices, training techniques, and tools that helps in adapting to customer demands. Many companies consciously are trying to address the changes using TQM, having mechanisms in place for quickly and efficiently responding to these customers' needs. The next methodology is Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese term that means continuous improvement. This method mainly focuses on making not so huge, but small continuous improvements in order to have a large-scale impact. In this, employee-manager relationships are cherished and employees are highly encouraged to share their feedback and suggestions. Usually, Kaizen is a technique that is used for the constant improvement of every function of the business, like the management, construction, or development departments. So, what is Kaizen used for? Kaizen is mainly used to improve the processes, quality of products/services by developing a method to create customer satisfaction. It improves team productivity, as well as job satisfaction by promoting better safety. It also implements a method of building faster delivery. Next, we have 5S. 5S is an organized method to implement business process improvement. This acts as an organized office environment that is essential for efficient processes. With this methodology, you can create a clean, safe, and productive environment for any team. The 5S system of visual management has improved organization and efficiency in many workplaces, including manufacturing environments and offices. So, what does 5S stand for? The 5 S's are described as sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. Generally, the steps of 5S involve starting from, going through items in a workspace, removing the unnecessary things, organizing the items in a structured way. The next method is PDCA. PDCA methodology mainly involves a continuous improvement process through PDCA cycles. So, what are the various PDCA stages? The stages of the PDCA cycle encourage accurate planning and measuring effective methods through feedback. Here are the steps of the PDCA cycle. The first one is plan. In this stage, the business improvement professional identifies an opportunity for change and is actively planning on ways to implement the same. Do. The next step is to apply the proposed change to the process. But, it is preferred to start on a small scale. Check. At this point, it is required to analyze the obtained results and determine whether it made a difference by implementing. Act. The last stage of the cycle is to implement all that you had decided. If you feel that the plan didn't drive the desired results, then it's necessary to begin the cycle again. However, if your experiment was a success, then it's time to drive changes on a large scale. The next methodology is process mapping. Another workflow visualization method that can help different companies map out process improvement plans is process mapping. It has several names like process flowchart, process chart, functional flowchart, or process model. Ultimately, it's the method to create a flow diagram that helps in delivering vital information about a process workflow from beginning to end. So, how to do process mapping? Here are some simple steps to create a process map. Creating process flowcharts that include activities in sequential order. Identifying the functional areas related to the process. Validating the initial and ending points of the process. Defining activities for each process. Mapping appropriate activities to every function. Now that you know various business process improvement methodologies, we shall look into some of their tools. Business process improvement tools. To make any process easy, tools are required. In the same way, to improve the business processes, improvement managers use many tools. Now, let us look into those tools. SIPOC diagram. SIPOC diagram is a Six Sigma tool that is used for documenting business processes. It visually documents a business process from beginning to end. Because the diagram doesn't contain much detail about the process, it is often called a high-level process map. The SIPOC diagram is one of the top-down analysis methods that help to pinpoint how value is delivered to the end customer. The methodology analyzes 5 main aspects of the process, that are suppliers, who are responsible for supplying the process inputs. Inputs, what kind of inputs are required? Processes, what are the steps included in the process? Outputs, what are the process outputs? Customers, who all can receive the outputs? To create this diagram, just draw 5 columns, for each of the aspects. Then, list out the respective information. Cause and effect analysis. Cause and effect analysis is a problem-solving tool that helps one find the root of any problem. It is also known as the fishbone diagram. Here, one will place the problems into a rectangle, and then draw horizontal lines to mention the problems. On the horizontal line, pinpoint the things that might have a major impact on the process. Then, for each factor, identify the possible causes for the problem until you've exhausted all the ideas. After this, one should start investigating. Process flowchart. The process flowchart is nothing but a process visualization through a flowchart. One can create a simple process flowchart just by using a pen and paper or also using digital platforms. One should just include the basic shapes and represent the different staging of the process. The common shapes used A, oval, to mention the start and end of the process. The rectangle mentions the different stages occurring in the process. The arrow connects the different stage of the project. And the diamond is used whenever a decision or approval is made. Pareto Chart. The Pareto Chart is an analysis tool. It is extremely helpful while taking decisions based on priorities. It is based on the principle that 80% of problems can be solved by eliminating 20% of the causes they stem from. This means that with a few corrective actions, a large number of deficiencies can be resolved easily. This chart is similar to that of a bar chart that is commonly used to identify the key factor or factors in a problem, to determine the main cause of a problem, to build a method to improve the elements, and to ascertain whether the desired effect has been achieved or not. Now that you have understood different business process improvement methodologies and tools, let us see some of the best practices of business process improvement. Business process improvement best practices. Business process improvement best practices are a way of understanding, fine-tuning, and improving the existing business processes. Now we will approach various business process improvement practices to ensure that your company gets the promised results. After identifying, mapping, analyzing, redesigning, and implementing, it is better to take some time before optimizing and automating. Because, it is better to take 6 months and implement changes that will stick than to change everything in a month and see it back to the way it was, and repeat it. Hence, go slow, because quality matters than quantity. Choose the right BPI tool. There are many BPI tools and ways of implementing it available in the market, and it is crucial to choose the ones that best fit your needs. Choose the tool that suits your project. Be aware of new tools, so that you can work in an easier and smarter way. Use optimum resources. The company must be smart enough to use the resources effectively. Take care of implementing new technologies, and use them in an effective way. They must make use of effective human resources to implement all their works. Measure well. One must analyze and measure what is the work, and not what you want the work to be. So, divide the work based on priority, and start dealing with the important work. Try to measure everything in the business, from the numbers to the employee's performance. It is a fundamental requirement to implement improvements efficiently. As you have understood many of the terminologies of business process improvement, to make you understand even better, I will be showing an example of a business improvement process. Case study on business process improvement. Consider an example of a medical shop. So, we know it has very essential elements that every customer needs. But, due to some reasons, the shop couldn't sell much of the medicines. They found that only fewer customers are reaching them. Also, medicines are getting expired, and they have no idea what to do. Then, they decided to meet the business process improvement manager and wanted to discuss their issues. Next, they meet Bob, the business process improvement manager. He then analyzed the issue. So, what was the problem? The medical shop started earning fewer profits. They saw a huge loss in their company. The improvement manager Bob understood the medical shop owner's problem. He analyzed the issues. Then, he came up with some problems. Bob said that the medical shop is not in the city center, and people found it difficult to reach the shop. Next, Bob told the shop owner that the medical shop is not having good, popular brands, and so people are refusing to visit the shop. Then, Bob told that the shop is not organized in a structured way. Like, the placement of different products was found to be irregular. Next, Bob told me there are no hospitals nearby, and so, the number of people required to buy medicine is less. So, what is the solution? Bob suggested a few of the solutions that can make the medical shop owner earn profits. Firstly, Bob suggested shifting the shop to such a place where people can find it easy to reach the medical shop. Later, he also asked to shift to that place where many hospitals are present. Next, he told to add some good products of popular brands which people are aware of. Then, Bob also suggested adding some new attractive products that are of high demand. At last, he asked the medical owner to arrange all the products in a structured way, so that it attracts the customers, as well as, easy to identify the product also. After implementing the solutions given by Bob, the medical shop improved gradually and started earning profits. This is one such example of business process improvement. Now that you have understood all about business process improvement, let us now look into the jobs in the business process improvement stream. Jobs in business process improvement. One can see various jobs listed under the Business Process Improvement Manager. According to data from PayScale, the average salary for a process improvement manager is about $82,084 per year. Continuous improvement managers report an average salary of $85,881 per year. Similarly, process improvement directors report an average salary of $113,417 per year. Other similar and popular job titles and their respective average annual salaries for process improvement roles are mentioned below. The data is obtained from the PayScale website. Process Analyst, $63,492. Business Process Analyst, $65,646. Performance Improvement Specialist, $69,841. Process Improvement Engineer, $71,635. Process Engineer, $73,823. Business Technology Analyst, $73,937. Regarding demand, CNN Money reported that a 12% growth in the process improvement field is expected between 2025. The need for process improvement professionals exists across all industries. They are also hired to work with nonprofits and government agencies that often face budget constraints and need efficiency. Hence, if you are interested in getting into the business process improvement stream, then you are on the right path. I hope this tutorial gives you all the information you need. If you have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments section.